Hi everyone, my name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, it's wonderful to have you, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming and spending some more time with me today. So it is Stitch With Me day, Stitch With Me time, and as you can see, you may recognize this piece. This is my Lord of the Rings, One to Rule Them All. So I'm just getting to the right comments, just bear with me. Okay. So here is the mock-up. It's a Tilton Crafts piece. Let me just shift my lights out of the way so you don't get glare. It's a Tilton Crafts piece, and I am working in sort of somewhere around here. I'm so sorry, the glare is horrific, so I'm just going somewhere around here. So obviously the top left is just here. I need to continue filling in that black. So this is where I started, and I'm just filling in you know, along here, and I'm going to sort of try and move along this piece. Okay, let me zoom in. So this will be one of my Stitch With Me's that has chat. I will be looking at your lovely comments as well. So I've done 50 stitches on this so far, and it's been stitched 1 over 1 full cross on some 25 count. So I have some comments, as I said, to have a look at, and thank you to everybody who has left me a comment. They help me enormously in these videos. It you know, provides me with a way to interact again with you guys. For me, I like to reply to comments, but sitting there and typing out an answer to them all would literally just take away my stitchy time. So I think it's nice, excuse me, and certainly for me it works to answer your comments on one of these Stitch With Me's. Let me just move that along so it's more central. That's better. So yeah, I'm doing okay. I hope everybody else is. It's actually a day late as I film this. It's Thursday. Andy and I were away in the early part of the week for our wedding anniversary. So thank you for everybody that sent us good wishes for that. I also had another unexpected, well, I say unexpected, not entirely unexpected, but very welcome gift from my wedding anniversary. My channel now has 3,000 subscribers. So it has more than, actually. So for those of you who have pressed the subscribe button, thank you very, very much. It's a huge milestone for me. And yeah, I love doing my YouTube, as you guys know. So thank you. There are still a lot of people though that do watch my channel who are not subscribed. Please do consider doing so. It is free, and once you click the subscribe button, it turns into a drop down, and if you select on that drop down all notifications, you will be notified whenever I make an upload or go live. So if you are new around here, I do have a schedule where I have 2 floss tubes, sorry, 1 floss tube per week, 2 Stitch With Me's, 1 on a Thursday, 1 on a Saturday, and 2 live streams, 1 on a Wednesday and 1 on a Sunday. So I do quite a number of hours of content. I think we worked out it's about, dependent on the length of my floss tube. So I do 2 2-hour live streams and 2 1.5-hour Stitch With Me's. So it's about, well, it's easily 7 hours plus the, what am I doing here? It's 7 hours plus the Flosstube. So, and depending on my Flosstube as to how much I have to say, that can range from 15 minutes to half an hour or more. I also periodically put out other videos as well, Flosstube extras, unboxings. I do 2 whip parades a year, one in December and one in July. And yeah, so I do have, you know, quite a lot of content that I like to share. So there we go. I also have a Facebook group, Simply a Stitcher and Friends. You'll find the link in the description box below. So if you like to chat with other like-minded stitchers, if you don't mind to be enabled, if you wish to participate in our monthly stitch along, which for October it's a Spooktober, then by all means do go ahead and join the Facebook group. There are a couple of joining questions. Please do answer those. If it's not evident you're a stitcher, your request will be deleted. So yeah, I'm also on Instagram, Simply a Stitcher, and if you use TikTok, I'm also on TikTok as well. I'm trying to get into Creator Fund on TikTok, but it is hard. It's very difficult. 10,000 subscribers or 10,000 followers plus a video that basically has to go viral. So yeah, but if you do use TikTok, please do go ahead and follow me on there. So yeah, as I said, today's video is all about the comments, and we'll talk about what you guys have said over the past week or so. Me and Andy, as I said, have been away, but we still kept the content coming out because I did film some stuff ahead of time. And I filmed my Flosstube on Monday morning. But we are going back to Flosstube number 38. So I had a really good week, stitchy-wise, but not a good week in other areas. So I had quite a lot of anxiety issues, and I was, I'm very open to talking about it. I think talking about it helps others. And if you're in the same position, you're not alone. So if you are any decent human being is always prepared to listen to how somebody feels and how they see the world. There are people out there, unfortunately, who are not quite, do not quite think along the same lines. And I will tell you now that if you do not wish to hear talk about things like mental health, then maybe this channel may not be for you. I am, for one, I am a very big supporter of people who do share what their problems are, and I would never ever prevent anybody from opening up. So we're going to talk about some comments, and because that video did touch on my mental health, you know, this will feature throughout this video. So my first comment is from Jane, who is Jane22. Hi Nicola, lovely to see and hear you with all your marvellous stitching. Thank you, Jane. I wish I could stitch as fast as you, but we are all different. Yes, indeed. I stitch pretty much like it's an Olympic sport, and I do recognise and acknowledge I am incredibly lucky because I can stitch a long time. I have a wonderful husband and family who are very supportive of me in my hobby. But so that's, you know, part of the reason I get plenty done. And also I'm an early riser most of the time. I'll stitch at any opportunity and always look to add a few more onto my tally. Excuse me. I enjoy seeing your progress on all your stitching patterns. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, some of them are coming along beautifully. Witchy Cat is stunning. It certainly is, and it's coming along. I'm hoping to be finished in less than 2 weeks, but we will see. It might take 3. We'll have to see. Sorry to hear you had a lousy week and that your anxiety is happening again. Glad to hear your boss is listening to you and you understand what's happening, even though you don't understand why at this stage. I wish it all gets better for you. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, I get it that it happens, but I don't understand why. Because, you know, to be fair, I've been all right. You know, there's nothing sort of primarily, you know, nothing worrying me as such. But I guess we're all different. As you say there, Jane, quite right. Excuse me. As you say there, Jane, quite rightly, we are all different, aren't we? And for me, my stress comes out in anxiety symptoms, physical symptoms for me. I was quite glad actually a couple of days away with Andy, because it meant that I could talk to him about it and how it was making me feel, which was great. It meant that, you know, I could get it off my chest, and Andy had, you know, perhaps came away from the time away with a better understanding of my anxiety and how it affects me. But the good news is that this week there has been an upturn. I am currently on day 7 without a panic attack, which is marvellous. And I am really happy.
You get a bell.
Oh, do I get a bell for that? Thank you. I am happy about that. I'm not going to lie, there have been moments I have had my medication, because that is standard. If I am not medicating myself, then I will never get any better. So, you know, I really do have to, you know, make sure that I am looking after myself. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been good. I've been able to talk to Andy about it. He understands, as I say, a bit better now as well. And ultimately, all it can do is just benefit us as a couple and benefit us all as a family. Because I do feel, let me just turn the angle on that a little bit. That's better, isn't it? I do feel, you know, better able, you know, to talk about it. So it's been compounded a little bit this week because I have got a pulled muscle in my chest, and also when we were away I managed to pull a muscle in my leg. So I've got a couple of aches and pains, but you know, nothing I can't handle. Okay, Loopy Sue leaves me some smiley faces and hearts on my Flosstube 38 and also on my coastal stitch with me that I released a couple of weeks ago. So thank you, Sue. So yeah. And then Linda Loves to Stitch says, nice to see what you have been working on. Very nice progress. Thank you, Sue. And I'm afraid I just have to get Google Translate out for this one, because I did translate it, but I've forgotten what it says. Okay. Okay, so it says, it's a lady who's commented in Spanish, and it is Agustina Cano Garcia 9975. Gracias. Very nice. Translated to say, very nice everything you do. Thank you for sharing. I hope you get better. Take care. Muchas gracias, Agostina. So yeah, it's lovely that, as you know, from that my work is I'm having to do more and more of these little translations, and it's wonderful that, you know, people from all over the world are seeing my content. Then Kelly says, from Kelly's Quilts Plus, says, hug Nicola, take care of yourself, my dear. I enjoy seeing your projects as always. Witch Cat is looking so good. Thank you very much, Kelly. You know, I mean, I've had a couple of times recently where I've acknowledged that I needed to do the self-care. I had a self-care weekend a couple of weekends ago, and then of course me and Andy going away this week. You know, it was all about, you know, downtime and relaxation and stuff, and it's been good. So whilst I am still a little tired from our trip away, is to be expected, it's definitely a happy tired, and it's not a exhausted from, you know, too much sort of stress kind of thing, sort of tired. Oh, excuse me, apologise, that snuck up on me. Okay. All right, so when we were on the coastal stitch with me, Jane Murray says, have a happy anniversary. So Andy and I have been married for 7 years now, and we don't really tend to do much for our anniversary apart from time. We don't do cards or gifts or anything like that. I mean, we might do on special ones, but, you know, we don't really do cards and gifts and things like that. We're just so very happy together and like just to spend our time with each other. And, you know, certainly of late, the last few anniversaries, we've ended up at the coast, having a meal within the confines of our car. And, you know, that is absolutely fine by me, you know, because I get to spend that time with Andy. And this time was no exception. We found a fish and chip restaurant in Cromer with a view of the sea, and we sat there having our meal, looking out over the water and spending that time together. And I wouldn't have changed it for the world. You know, we've had times where we've been sat in our car. We've had times where we've been sat on the seafront, but this time we were sat in a restaurant, but always with that view of the sea. Occasionally the menu might change. What say you, dear? I think you enjoy it as well, don't you? Oh, that's the wrong colour. Or is it? Yes, it is. 3031 instead of 3021, like a numpty. So, yeah, I mean, for us, we are simple creatures. We don't do posh, we just do nice. A few quid in the 2p arcades, winning loads of, you know, rubbish key rings for the girls because they're key ring mad. And our China toilet with its fake money plant inside it. It's all good fun. And walks and ice cream and fish and chips and cuddles and time and coffee and sitting looking out at the sea and just enjoying each other's company. What else can you do? What else would you want to do? I tell you, nothing. Keep telling Andy this is why I want to move to the coast and can do that all the time. Couldn't walk past an arcade me, I'd have to have £1 on the 2p machines. Okay, Karen Ennis says, I have anxiety issues also. I have to go to the doctor tomorrow and I'm anxious to go out and ride in an Uber and do this on my own. My thoughts are with you. Thank you, Karen. And, you know, well done for managing it. I'm pretty sure that you did. And I absolutely get it that some days it's hard to leave the house. I think in some ways the COVID lockdowns didn't help with that because I spent weeks in the house without going out. Apart from the odd time, you know, when I might have, you know, gone for a little walk around the block or something. And, you know, it doesn't sort of make you, never made me want to stay in all the time, but it didn't, I was just never not as keen to go out. And, you know, when you get comfortable, you just don't want to go out, you know. But I fully understand, you know, where you're coming from. And Patricia comment says, wow, a 5k weekend. Yep. That's self-care at its height. 5,000 stitches. It was shut myself off. Plug into YouTube and stitch the days away. And it was the best medicine for me. I'm sorry to hear you're feeling so anxious and not feeling well. On top of that, doesn't help either. Luckily, whatever was brewing never materialized, so I managed to sort of dodge a bullet essentially with that, managed to fight it off. So it was literally, you know, just then was just the anxiety portion rather than the potential that was brewing, the ear infection and so on. But I think as I'm so much physically healthier now, I am much more able to throw off the starts of a cold, the start of an ear infection, the start of, you know, because I'm just so much better, you know, since losing my weight and stuff. You know, I'm just a different person, and I'm, you know, much happier with it. I'm pretty sure you guys will agree if you go back and watch my early Flosstubes. I am a completely different person to what I was on those. I am certainly a lot more comfortable in front of the camera, and especially given everything that I've done this year, you know, with my dental work and so on. The last couple of years, the improvements in myself have been huge. So, but I do feel like I'm a healthier me. Patricia then goes on to say, keep on stitching all the lovely whips. I love the blues in coastal and the yellows and oranges in summer sun. Yep, summer sun now has had its 3,000 stitches for September and is going away until rotation. and it's been replaced for Spooktober stitching by Pandora. Whilst not spooky as such, Pandora is supernatural more than anything, and you know, it fits the prompt, I think. Look at that, look at that. When I've managed to sew through my thread. Oh, if you can see that there. Dear, oh dear. Okay, yeah, so Pandora is going to be my October stitch. It'll get 3,100 stitches. And I just keep on ploughing on, getting as many stitches done as I can. I still have just under 5.5 million outstanding stitches on my current work in progresses, with the exception of Ice Dragon, because I don't know how many stitches are in that. So I got enough to keep me going till tea, so says Andy.
Huh?
Enough stitches left to keep me going till tea. Yeah. Dog's barking again. Okay, Laura Silsby says, hi, that pendant on the Halloween cat is amazing. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I've just got my witch cat right here, actually. I did, buried it under 2 projects this morning. But yeah, let's just have a look at that. So it is quite lovely. And then obviously we get the little bit of blue in the middle. I mean, I've resisted, I've called it a pendant because I've resisted calling it, you know, like a pentagram and stuff, because I don't think it is that. I'm not terribly well up on these things, but I think calling it a pendant is, you know, much more appropriate. But yeah, I was really pleased with how that came out. So yeah, and I got my first 0 on it as well, because there were only about 15 or so stitches of that blue, so it gave me a 0. Always good. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm just having a vanilla coffee. It's giving me hiccups. Irene Chandler says, thank you for sharing. I understand the feeling of mental frustration. I'm going through some rough days right now as well. Remember, we are here for you. You are loved by everyone. Thank you, Irene. I'm sorry that you're having it tough too. Like I said, I do acknowledge that, you know, I am in a better position than a lot of people. But it doesn't mean to say that obviously I'm not affected like everyone else. But yeah, it is challenging at times living in my head. But, you know, it truly is appreciated that, you know, you guys understand where I'm coming from more than anything. And, you know, stitching is my therapy, and talking is my therapy. And if I get stitching and talking at the same time, well, even better. Because, you know, it's great. You know, I can sit here and chat away to the camera, and it's offloading, you know, which is a huge sort of thing. I mean, I couldn't sit and offload to Andy. But, you know, the ability that I have to be able to sit and talk on Flosstube, you know, it makes such a difference. It's almost like talking to a therapist. I don't drink, I don't smoke or anything like that. I don't have any vices apart from stitching, which, you know, I fully admit it can be an addiction. And Andy, I think, would agree with that. Andy's saying nothing apparently. But Andy knows how happy that sitting with a needle and thread makes me. You know, being creative in this way, how happy it makes me. You know, I said before, I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't do modelling or, you know, anything like that. But, you know, being able to sit here and needle and thread, follow the pattern, create the piece, does me just fine. Jersey Girl Stitches. Now this was a lovely comment. Thank you, Nicola, for another great video. I'm a long time subscriber but rarely comment. Oh, you should comment. I like to read your comments, and thank you for commenting on this video. I'm in New Jersey in the US, so time difference comes into play. I love seeing all of the great progress on all of your whips. Maybe one day I will start my own YouTube channel. Happy stitching. Indeed, start away. You know, I love to discover new floss tubers. So, you know, don't get me wrong, I don't subscribe to everyone. If I did, my phone would be going literally bananas all day and all night with notifications. But I really, really do love to you know, to discover new floss tubers. It took a long time for me to do my first one, but when I did it, I'm glad I'd done it.
You had a bit of help.
I certainly did, and I still have help every time I put the camera on, don't I, dear?
Well, I wonder who that could be from.
I'm not quite sure, really.
You're not?
Nope.
You do surprise me.
Of course, I'm talking about my wonderful editor-in-chief.
Less of the wonderful, please.
More of the wonderful, thank you. I'm sure that everybody who's watching and listening to this video knows what a wonderful support you are and would agree with that title. Might just start referring to you as Mr. Wonderful from now on. Okay. Aussie Craft Mum says, sending love and hugs. I love the progress and glad work is being accommodating. Thank you, Angela. Yeah, I mean, my boss, she's lovely. I really, really couldn't wish for anybody better. My immediate manager, she's fantastic. And she's very understanding. And, you know, I mean, I said to her, you know, I said to her, I said, you know, I might just sort of turn around to you one day and say, I think I'm in trouble for something, but I don't know what, because it's a feeling I get, you know. But it may not be true, but it might be my anxiety talking. And she's like, no. Now, if you were, I'd be first to tell you, you know. And you know, she is wonderful. If there is any issue, she will tell me straight away. She never ever leaves it. I mean, to be fair, it's rare that there's any issue. But yeah, it's you know, I'm lucky to have a person like her in my life. Lucky to have lots of the people I have in my life. There we go. This is filling in quite well. Oh, itchy leg. Can I eke out another 3 stitches out of this bit of thread? Yeah, yes. I think I can. Floss chicken is a thing. Okay, snip off that one. Roxanne. So again, another lady who is, in my opinion, is brave in sharing her thoughts and feelings as well, and is having a similar experience. So Roxanne says, your stitching is beautiful as usual. I suffer from depression and have for many years. It must be the time of year because I'm going through a bit of depression right now. All I do is sleep all day and up all night, so I don't have to be around people. I'm trying to fight my way back, but it's hard. I hope you find your safe place again, as I too fight for mine. My head is everywhere and nowhere. If not for stitching, I don't know what I'd do. Happy stitching, my friend. So, my goodness, Roxanne, I would absolutely be totally on that bench with you, because, you know, a lot of the things that you say in there is exactly how I feel. You know, for me, it's more of not wanting to get up in the morning and not wanting to be around people and not wanting to function. But, you know, keep on talking and sharing. You know, we are here, you know, for you as well. And, you know, you're never alone. But thank you for sharing. Okay, let's just get rid of that. Oh, somebody's playing music for the neighbourhood. Okay, Diane Labruyere. Hi, Nicola. I always enjoy your videos and your beautiful work. I'm sorry to hear about your mental health. Take care of yourself. Hope you will feel better soon. Thank you, Diane. After a few days, I did indeed and have indeed managed to bounce back. Sometimes it's easier than others. But, you know, it just goes to show with the right support, i.e. Mr. Wonderful, I'm all good.
Are you talking about me again?
Maybe. Sounds like we're having a mother's meeting outside now. It's not school time yet.
Far away. Only another hour and a half.
Well, I suppose. But how rude of them being so noisy at this time of day. And beautiful lady Sharon. Fabulous number of stitches, Nicola. Anxiety sucks and can be so irrational. That is so true. Then Sharon goes on to say, when you have your normal brain in action, you can't understand why you've got yourself worked up. And in the anxiety moment, you can't think like that. Hope you find some relief soon. Having a break from work and being away may give you that lift you need. Sending you a big hug. Thank you very much indeed, my lovely friend. And yeah, you know, I feel a different person this week, a million miles away to what I was last week. I think even Andy agrees that I'm a different person this week. He's busy listening to his video. Okay, Christian Klein sends me some hearts and smiley faces. Thank you, Christian. And then Diane says, I wish there was something I could do to help. Hang in there and know you're loved. Thank you, Diane. I am hanging in there. Absolutely hanging in there. Yeah, some days are better than others, but, you know, certainly this last week I've had a lot more good days. Can't even say I've had a bad one.
It's not all down to me.
Well, quite a lot of it is. But, you know, not being in work has obviously helped enormously as well. Okay, Patricia sends me some hearts, thank you so much. And then our lovely Jodie says, amazing progress and big hugs and much love and prayers that your anxiety goes away. Thank you, Jodie. It's lovely to know I have so many good friends. Okay. Oh. So I did a live stream on last Wednesday, and Mona comments to say that the sound was all good, which is always a bit of a worry when I'm doing these live streams. Never know if I can be heard or not. But Mona confirmed there that I could, so thank you, Mona. And oh no, I'm going to move this out of the way. I can't see a flipping thing. And then Sandy on my coastal piece, my Roseanne Bell. Sandy comments to say, lovely stitch with me as always, so calming. This piece is looking amazing, such lovely colours. Thanks for sharing. Take care and happy stitching. Thank you, Sandy. Do I want to go that way? Yes, I do. And Heather Pearson, again, we're still working through Flosstube 38 comments. Heather says, hi Nicola, I like these updates, beg your pardon. Sometimes I come late to a live and don't recall the project. This clears up the questions. I love the witchy girl. When I was going through menopause, my anxiety was way up, a hormonal thing. It's now much better, but still working on it. I'm not entirely sure whether or not I am in menopause just yet. I seem to be having some symptoms, but every time I've gone and had bloods done, they've come back, everything's normal. So, I don't know. The trouble is I don't really have a yardstick because pretty much every female in my family has had a forced menopause. My mother and sister both had hysterectomies in their 30s. I don't know about my mother's two sisters because we're not, I mean, one of them passed away, but the other one, although we're fairly close, we're not that close to talk about things like menopause, if that makes sense. So I don't really have a yardstick. And my maternal grandmother died young as well, so it's a bit hard. But I'm just, just coping with life as best I can at the minute and seeing what happens and just expecting the unexpected more than anything. It would have been nice to have had some kind of a yardstick, but alas, it's not happening for me. And every family is different, every person's different, but usually you get an idea from family. But I don't have that, unfortunately. Okay, let's just part this one. Okay. I did a stitch with me with Sailing Fairy. That one, then those three done. Cool. I'm just going to move this along a little bit now because I'm going to work in this bit here. Let's just move those ones up. And there we go. Okay. I did a stitch with me on Sailing Fairies. So Kelly's Quilts and Cruises, Kelly's Quilts Plus, beg your pardon. Still using your old name, Kelly. And Kelly comments, the butterfly on Sailing Fairy is coming in. So pretty. Oh. Yep, it is indeed. Barking dogs in your video remind me of mine. Chaos in my house, only somewhat controlled. Happy stitching. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, it's just the one dog that you'll hear sometimes over the road. It's a German Shepherd. I don't think it's 2 years old. I might just be about 2 years old. It's a girl, and it likes to jump and chase after, try and chase after cars. So usually when it barks, it's either somebody is annoying the dog, which, let's be fair, can happen, or a car is going past and she's barking away at the car going down the street. Yeah, both are equally possible. But she's quite a softie. Hannah and the girls, Hannah will go across and fuss her and Lauren, but she's quite a softie, that dog. And then on my next 2 videos, Wednesday live stream and Flosstube number 20, Sailing Fairy one. Patricia again leaves me some hearts, so thank you very, very much, Patricia. And again, I'll just remind you guys that leaving comments, even if it's only a couple of emojis, helps me enormously. So please, please do continue to do so. Just part that one there. Okay. And then a few days ago, my lovely Sandy, another lovely lady, comments to say, so sorry to hear you're not feeling well at the moment, not surprising with all you've been through the last few months. My prayers are with you. Thanks for sharing your amazing progress on your whips. Wow, how many stitches. Hope you'll feel better soon. Take care. Thank you, Sandy. And you're absolutely right. I absolutely have been through it these last, sort of few months, since the beginning of the year, really, with making the decision to have my dental work done, to the stuff that's going on with my ex-husband, plus 1,000,001 other little bits in between, which seem to be like the normal way of things, but then, there's something going on. My stepdad, for example, and the problems that he's been having lately, bless him. There just seems to be so much, and unless you're actually there, you kind of don't see how, unless something similar is happening with you, it's hard to understand how everything just connects together. Lots of stresses in life. I'm sure Sandy won't mind me saying that we have chatted privately, and Sandy has lots of things going on too, and it's just so nice to have a friend, that I feel able to talk to, and she feels able to talk to me. It's fantastic, and I think that's the thing that makes life so much more bearable. the support of decent people is worth its weight in gold. Celia comments as well on my sailing fairy, and she says she loves this pattern, so colourful. It certainly is, and the charting and kitting is top notch as well. So if you're considering a Paine Free Crafts kit, don't quibble for too long, because I loved it, love it. I mean, me and Sarah, you know, are friends anyway, and you know, occasionally I'll, you know, chat with her, and she asks me how things are going with Sailing Fairy. Oh my gosh, listen to it cackling out there. It's hang on, lasses, it's only 2nd of October, not the 31st. Dearie me. And then Celia comments on my alternative Lord of the Rings stained glass with some kitty cat heart and some football emojis, so we know that Celia is watching the football. And bless her, Celia is one of my sort of ardent supporters that will have a playlist on in the background for me, which is greatly appreciated. So thank you, Celia. If you ever did want a way to support the channel and it not cost you a penny, apart from a bit of electric maybe, just leave one of my playlists running in the background. Let the playlist run, let the adverts play, and it all helps. So thank you very, very much, Celia. You're a wonderful support, and I thank you. And then Kay Stitchy Pfeiffer is playing catch up by the look of things on Flosstube 35 with chat and Envy. She comments to say, I missed seeing Envy out, so it was a pleasant surprise to see her today. Yeah, Envy is looking splendid. It's nice when I stitch an end because I can get a lot of block stitching done in a relatively short time and can see my progress really, really quickly. And then Celia was also watching another one of my alternative Lord of the Rings stained glass, and again left me some football emojis on that too. So thank you, Celia. That one. Did I do that one? Yes, I did. My lovely friend from Portugal, Carla, comments on my Nadia Strelkina, and she says she is so beautiful. She certainly is. I'm looking forward to coming back and getting some more of a face in the next sort of couple of times that that one's picked to work. It's going to be phenomenal. Celia leaves me again some more emojis on my Daughter of the Deep stitch with me. So thank you, Celia. And again, we've got football in there, kitty cat, and sewing thread. Not going to lie, sometimes it's quite hard to see what these emojis are. But always fun to try and figure them out. And then Wendy's Stitching 4849 again on Daughter of the Deep comments to say beautiful colours. They certainly are. You know, the sea greens and the blues and the teals and stuff in Daughter of the Deep are just beautiful. So on that particular video where I was filming Daughter of the Deep Stitch with me, Hannah came down to ask if I could see daylight on her butt cheeks, which created, of course, a ripple of laughter. She had black leggings on and the teeniest of tiny holes, which I couldn't even see. And she was concerned that if she was at work, that somebody would be able to see that she had a hole in her leggings. Spoiler alert, nobody noticed. But of course, Hannah, in Hannah's indomitable fashion, came down and demanded my and Andy's attention, which of course I let you guys see and hear it too, because my channel is about realism. I don't, you know, don't get me wrong. In this household, we have fights, we have quarrels. You've heard the girls doing it on live stream, but there's always a dose of reality. I am not the kind of person that will sugarcoat things, and you know, I will leave it in what's and all. And of course, you know, with Hannah making that here's the daylight on my butt cheeks comment, then came much hilarity. So Gail, our lovely Gail, was laughing and said, Hannah, yes indeed, laughing with Hannah. I have told her about these comments, by the way, and she's like, yeah, well, you know, the people like it when I, you know, do these things. I'm like, okay. So there you go. Hannah is aware she has a little fan club. And Loopy Sue leaves me some hearts and smileys. And then Gail again comes back into comment to say Hannah is a comic genius. She's got timing, I'll give her that much. She definitely has the comic timing off pat. And sometimes the way that she says things, the way she comes out with things, it's just proper funny. And you know, the good thing is she doesn't realise just how funny she is. But she does know that we're laughing with her, not at her. You know. So yeah, she's a case there, Anna. She really is. Love her to bits. No, it doesn't belong in there. It belongs in there. Daughter of the Deep is coming along beautifully, says Kelly. I enjoy seeing all of the aqua blues. Working the stitches in an area of several blocks seems to be working for you. Yep, it certainly does. And it kind of, the main method that I've adopted now. And it's like, it's like typewriter method, but in a 10 row deep linear block. And I kind of just naturally seem to sort of fall into doing that. I've done it on this one. So, but it definitely seems to be my method of choice, and try and use up the thread where I can as well. And, you know, and if it's going too far, then I'll just part the thread. But yeah, it definitely seems to be my jam. Just mark off, don't want to get lost. And, you know, as if to validate Hannah, Sardalicious says, I just howled in the middle of work. We love Hannah. Yeah, she's a funny onion. Oh, where am I here? There. Okay. Leslie, thanks for the great video. Daughter Deep is looking great. The colours are lovely. Hannah is so funny. Look at my backside. Can you see daylight? It tickled me pink. I'm trying to catch up on your videos that I've missed, but some I have left running as you suggested. Thanks again, Nicola. No worries at all. She's funny, isn't she? And thank you for leaving the videos running, Leslie. It's, again, great help. Every penny counts right now. It's all getting funneled into a savings account to sort out the ex-husband's bill. All of my YouTube earnings are currently going towards that. Normally I ring fence some for framing and for stashing things, but I don't need either of those at the moment. So it's all just being ring fenced for him right now. But watching the videos, leaving a playlist running is such a help. And of course it's something you can do for me and it doesn't cost you a penny. I mean, I have a buy me a coffee, and I'd have resisted having super thanks because, you know, YouTube do take quite a bit out for that. Excuse me, but yeah, I mean, we're getting there slowly but surely. That reminds me, love, I didn't get an update on yours yesterday. Your bonus saver. Well, I'll sort that out later. Have a tot up and see how we're doing. Okay. Leonid Stitches is also having a good giggle at Hannah. And Daphne leaves me some sewing needles. Thank you, Daphne. And thank you, Linny. Hannah, I'm sure, will say that she aims to please. Yeah, she's definitely a funny onion. Then Patrizia, again on Daughter of the Deep, leaves me some hearts. Thank you, Patrizia. Carla comments on Flosstube 38, leaving me some love and hugs. So thank you, Carla. It's very much appreciated. And then Carla also comments on my bizarre bookshelf stitch with me that I released recently too, and she leaves me some hearts on there as well. Taser the Elder comments again on Daughter of the Deep and says, Hannah sounds like my daughter, only one brand and flavour of pizza, and cherry Pepsi is the preferred drink. She also hasn't settled on a favoured chicken brand either. I'm not buying beef at all right now. It's too expensive, especially when I'm the only one in the house that eats it. Yep, it's a rough time buying groceries at the moment in the UK. Well, I suspect it is everywhere. I've got my girls trained that the first place they should go to in any supermarket is the reduced, and then see if there's anything been marked down. And you know, we've managed to get some minced beef reduced today, so I'm quite happy about that. We tend to have a look and see where we can save our pennies where possible, as I'm pretty sure everybody is at the moment. It is certainly rough. So just a quick readjust there. It's certainly rough trying to shop. But yeah, I mean, Hannah is a very beige food girl. One brand of drink. Lawrence, excuse me. Lauren, thankfully, is unfussy. Okay, Karen Ennis on Sunday stream says, hello, I'm starting a Carolyn Manning Ruby anniversary. Have a wonderful time on your vacation. Thank you, Karen. Yes, that that's a really nice one, that Ruby Anniversary. Love a Carolyn Manning. Have fun with that. Love it. And always good to have a new start. Okay, is still catching up, and comments on Flosstube 36 and says congratulations on your win. Of course, that was for She Sleeps, the trophy I won at the local show. So thank you, Kay. Had a lovely lot of comments this time. It's been great. And our lovely Cheryl, this is my last comment, says, I am watching all videos to try and watch all your videos on my holiday. It'll take her till Tuesday to get back up to date. Thank you, Cheryl. And that was on my Daughter of the Deep Stitch with me. Cheryl, of course, is busy. For those of you that are participating in my live stream, you'll know she's busy doing a Disney cross stitch. And she's doing ever so well, and I don't think it'll be too much longer, and that will be a finish. I'm looking forward to that. It's been lovely to see it grow and progress over these past few months. But Cheryl, bless her, went on a holiday. She does tractor pulling and stuff as well. So yeah, it's good to see her back. Okay, so we've got about another 15 minutes of stitcher time. So I'm just going to continue filling in. So we're graduating down towards lighter colours as we go down. This is like mainly background, which isn't terribly exciting, I know, but we are away. Excuse me, we're away yet from the actual ring itself, and I don't think you guys would want just to see me stitching thousands of stitches of black, i.e. my mapped area. Yeah, we're getting that. I've also been having a little think again about next year. So from the end of this year, any more new starts I will have. So at the moment I put in focus for a finish being the one with the least amount of stitches. What I've decided from next year is to do any new starts, put them on a brand new list and not have them in the focus for a finish possibility. So, because some of the projects I've got on the go now are quite old, like my Lord of the Rings, my Realm of Middle-earth map, I actually started it in 2017. So it's been going for 8 years. And at this rate, it's never going to get finished. So, I shan't have anything new on focus for a finish from new starts from January. I should just stick to this existing list of mine, and when I've got to the bottom, then I will start on a new list, if that makes sense. try and get this list finished up. I mean, I've got 17 or 18 items at least on it, and it's going to be a long time. No, it's more than that. It's going to be a long time before it, you know, complete this list. And then, of course, as I said, the bigger pieces are going to have more stitches next year. So anything that's 500,000 stitches and over is going to have 2,000 stitches per rotation. Anything between 250,001 and 500,000. No, let me start that again. Anything that's 500,000 and over is going to get 2,000 stitches per rotation. Anything that is between 250,001 and 400,999 is going to get 1,500 stitches. And anything 250,000 or less will get 1,000 stitches per rotation. I'm also going to rejig the rotation slightly as well and space things out a bit. I'm going to have a brand new list, a brand new rotation from 1st of January. And at the moment, Daughter of the Deep, Lord of the Rings, the Realm of Middle-earth map, and my Night Cafe are all fairly bunched up together. I want to spread them out. So I'm going to have a brand new rotation as well. And then, you know, hopefully it'll kind of streamline things. And again, I've done 500,000 this year. There's no reason why I can't hit 500,000 next year. Or I will be doing 500,000 this year, should I say. It's not cut and dried yet. It's not on the finishing line, because at the minute I would get there by the 15th of December. But if I have any non-stitchy days, if anything happens and I can't stitch, that will obviously extend again. So but yeah, if I can get through 500,000 stitches a year, I'll be a happy bunny. And getting a couple of finishes. The finishes, of course, will slow down because the pieces are getting bigger. But the good thing is that as pieces come out of the rotation, it's going to be less time to get to them. So there's going to be less time between rotations, which is going to be equally good. I've got so much sort of swimming around in my head, it's kind of hard to put it into words that make sense, but hopefully you guys will get it. But I'll talk about it when I do my end of year whip parade at the end of this year, a little bit more in depth. But yeah, plans abound. I mean, I can squeeze it, if I can squeeze out 500,000 this year, see how many I get to by the end of the year. I don't really want to put that figure up, but if I can get to 500k each year, I'm a happy girl. Because 500k is a lot. But, you know, I mean, I do want to keep working and getting these finishes done. And get, you know, my pieces progressing. But it'll still be the same, 2 finishes, 1 start. I won't deviate from that. And then we'll continue with the monthly sales in the group as well, because I think those have been quite successful. So yeah, next year hopefully will be another good stitchy year. I have to say that, I mean, this year has been the best year ever, bar none. I mean, I've had lots of new starts, lots of finishes. I've given gifts, I've won prizes, I've made friends, you know, my Flosstube is, you know, relatively successful, and, you know, it really has been, this year's been like a gift. You know, in terms of stitching, it's been wonderful. And we're only in October. We've still got the rest of October, November and December to go. So, yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I get it. I know that we never know what's around the corner, what'll happen, but next year's a carbon copy of this year. I think I'll have a pretty good bet. You know, it's funny, we were talking in East Anglia yesterday about the aircraft and the sonic boom that we heard from that fighter aircraft. And that's all I've heard in this last hour. There's an aircraft out there. Funny, isn't it? Anyway, so we're about there for this video, so I'll just finish up with my reminders. There'll be 3 videos that come up on your screen in a moment. If you've not seen those, please do go take a few minutes to have a look. As usual, I will release a Flosstube on Tuesday, Stitch with me Thursday and Saturday, and I live stream at 7:30 PM UK time on Sundays and Wednesdays. So if you can join me for those, that would be fantastic. On a Wednesday, my live stream is I might focus for a finish piece.
Hey, your live streams are always funny.
Yeah.
Plenty of banter.
On Wednesday, I work on my focus for a finish, which currently is the Witch Cat. And on Sundays, I work on my Sunday stitch, whatever that may be. Or if I've had a new start because of having 2 finishers, I will work on that. However, let me just zoom out. I've done 425, so 375 stitches. Oh, zoom out a bit more, just filling in sort of this side here. So what I shall do is I shall nip up here and do a bit more black when I am off camera. So thank you guys very much indeed for watching. It truly is appreciated. Do take care. Happy stitching. Please leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe if you've not already done so, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.